How are we there, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Smashing Crossbar Podcast. Once again, I'm your host, Josh, joined by Ben as always. How are you, mate?
I'm good. Let's see if we can go 2 weeks in a row where people can actually hear my intro.
Here's hoping. Be sure to let us know if you can't hear Ben or myself. Big shout out to our major sponsor, Gabriel Mark, optometrist at Charlestown. Thank you to those guys. Jasmine,
not
Charlestown. Wow, that's bad. Be sure to go down there and check them out for all your optical needs. Our special guest this week needs no introduction. He's done it all in Australian commentary. Simon Hill is here with us for a little bit of time, obviously, to ask or get a few questions answered and so forth. So if you've got any questions, be sure to drop them in the chat. How are you, mate?
I'm good, guys. How are you?
Yeah, getting there, mate. Obviously getting there.
Fantastic.
Would have rather been in Newcastle, obviously, to watch a bit of football, but we're down here in Melbourne, so as good as can be. You've been there, though.
Yeah, I've been to Newcastle quite a few times over the last few weeks. I love going up the F3, apart from the actual drive itself from Sydney. But no, it's a great city, and I've got a few mates up there actually. But I've got more mates in Newcastle than I have in Sydney. So no, it's a good place. I enjoy it, and I love the club. They've always been very welcoming to me, and obviously, Laurie, I've known for years. So yeah, terrific.
Absolutely. So yeah, as I said, we're going to touch on a few little things. Obviously, a bit of VAR, a bit of football, a little bit about your band side of things. Love your heavy metal, and we'll get into that. And, a few other things as well. But I'm going to start with a question that I got from one of the viewers, which probably a pretty good one to start with, honestly. So you came out to Australia in roughly 2003.
It was 2003, exactly 2003.
There we go. The viewer's onto it. When the NSL was in its dying days. Our national teams were stuck in Oceania with very little meaningful action, and the game's government was being forced into reform by the federal government. What on earth motivated you to come here at the time, and did you have any idea as to what the future was going to bring?
It's a good question, and one I've been asked many times. The short answer is no, I had no idea what it was going to bring. The reason why I came out here was because I'm going to give you a little bit of a history lesson here. So I worked for the BBC for 10 years, and then I left the BBC in 2001 to join a brand new television network called the ITV Sport Channel.
Yep.
And I was very excited about that. And I signed on thinking, well, this is me for the next 10, 15 years. Unfortunately, the channel had an absolutely terrible business plan, and it went bust in 12 months. So that was the end of that. So in mid-2002, I was basically cast out into the job market in the UK. And I did okay actually. For 6 months, I freelanced, worked for a lot of places, British Eurosport, Canal Plus in France, Rai International in Italy. That was a good gig. They used to fly us over there to do 2 Serie A games on a Sunday, which was brilliant. And various other places. And I actually got offered a full-time job by Sky Sports in, I think it was about November 2002. Now, around the same time, I'd actually been to Australia for the first time in my life in mid-2002 to see an old mate of mine who I used to work with at the BBC, a guy called Rob Minshall, who, like me, is from Manchester, and he's still got his accent more than me. A big City fan. We used to go to games together, etc., etc. And we'd stayed in touch. Anyway, cut a long story short, I came out to see him. And whilst I was over here, he said, there's a job going here as a commentator for SBS, because he worked at SBS at the time. And I said, that's very nice, but I don't think they'd be interested in me. I mean, I live on the other side of the earth, and, they've never heard of me. Why would they want me? Anyway, look, he went on about it for so long that in the end I said, look, when I get back to the UK, I'll send in a CV and a show reel, basically thinking that would shut him up. So that's what I did. And to my absolute amazement, a couple of weeks later, I got an email back from Ken Shipp, who was then the deputy head of sports at SBS, saying, look, we're very interested. Would you be keen to come to Australia? So I was like, wow. So then I had a big decision to make. Do I sign with Sky Sports, which was and still is the prominent football broadcaster in the UK, or do I take a punt and go somewhere different? Now, it had always been my ambition to go and live overseas and sample a different culture or a different lifestyle, whatever you want to call it. So I thought, if I was 35 then, wasn't married, didn't have any kids, still don't have any kids. So I thought, if I don't do it now, I'll probably never do it. So I decided to take the plunge. And to be honest, the football really, I mean, I did my research before I came over here, so I knew a bit about it. But that was almost like, at the time, a secondary consideration, because I was thinking I'm going for a new life experience. I thought it would last, like all the other British expats, 2 or 3 years. I'd enjoy a bit of sun, go on the beach, have some fun, and I'd be home within a couple of years. And what happened when I got here was that all that stuff went out the window. I didn't spend hardly any time on the beach. And instead, I was thrust into a game that was on the brink of a major revolution and headed north at a pretty speedy rate of knots for the first 10 years. Yeah. So my career went skywards, which was fantastic. And I don't regret it for 1 second, but that wasn't really the original plan. But as ever in life, you make plans and you have to sort of react to the circumstances. And I was quite happy to go with the flow because it was brilliant.
Absolutely. Obviously, now don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure in a past podcast that I was listening to, but this will keep Ben happy, you lived a little bit of time in Birmingham, or on the outskirts?
Just outside Birmingham, yeah. I played a city called Worcester, which is about 30, 40 minutes away from Birmingham, yeah.
Oh, there you go, Ben. He was close.
Close enough.
It's more the Black Country. It's like they talk a bit like that. They all support Wolves and West Bromwich.
No. Hey.
Who's your team?
Birmingham City.
Birmingham City, right.
Old man's a blue nose through and through. Boards are green.
Bordesley Green. Oh dear, Birmingham City.
Now he sounds like my Uncle Tony.
Not so happy. Well, when I got married the first time, a long time ago, it was actually to a girl from the Black Country. So I know that area of the world very well, and obviously been to Birmingham City many times. Not a place for the faint-hearted, particularly in the 80s.
Not at all. Even when I went in 06, it wasn't a place for the faint-hearted.
And it's still not.
It's still the second biggest derby in English football.
I was going to say, it's up there.
Second biggest after the Manchester one, yeah.
We'll carry on. Obviously, you've 2003 you come over. 2005, we can't go past the 2005 game, Australia versus Uruguay. Gets us through to the World Cup. That call, honestly, what was that? What was it like for you? Obviously, I believe Craig Foster was there. He was probably Noel.
Was he there?
Huh?
I think he might have been.
Was he? Yeah. I doubt he was much help. I heard him frigging crying and snow in the background there. Nah. How was it? Mate?
It's a night that everybody else remembers a lot more fondly than I do, to be honest. And I've said this on many times in the past. Not because I wasn't happy about the result, I was, but professionally that night was very, very difficult because Fozzie was so heavily emotionally invested in the outcome, as everybody was. He made my life pretty tricky as a commentator. And I remember at the end of the night thinking... I went home afterwards. I know everybody goes, "Oh, where did you go? You must have had a massive night that night." Are you kidding? I've been in Montevideo 4 days prior, so A, I was jet lagged. B, I was drained because it takes a lot out of you doing a call like that, particularly with so much at stake. And C, I thought professionally it was crap. And I still think that, to be honest. But the nice thing is that because of the results, and I've said this before, this is a good lesson. For broadcasters who take ourselves a bit too seriously, that people are emotionally invested in sport to such an extent that really you're just the adornment. So as it turns out, because Australia won and there was this huge weight lifted off people's shoulders after 32 years, people loved it. They loved the commentary with warts and all. Yeah. So I'm both grateful for that and also relieved because if you assess it in a pure professional sense, it wasn't very good.
There was a lot of
did you have the same trouble flying back from Montevideo as the rest of the Socceroos squad?
No, well they were fine because they had the chartered jet, of course. So they stopped off in the Cook Islands and did exercises and had a cup of coffee and all the rest of it.
It was probably on the Uruguay flight.
We were in Cattle on the commercial flights. So no such luxuries for me. No.
That's a bit rough.
Bloody hell. It was a great call.
We expected nothing less. It
was a great call. Like, obviously, as you said, Foz he was so emotionally wrapped up into it. There was confirmation, I believe, at times that you could hear him. He's like, "Oh shit, is it? What penalty are they up to? How many? What's the score?" There was plenty of.
Yeah, it was a tough one, and I had a moment, almost at the crucial moment, where my mind went a blank when Schwartzy made the big second save, as you remember, and I called that, and Fozzie was just going off, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw John Aloisi walking very slowly, very purposefully towards the penalty spot, and I looked at him and I thought, if he scores, is that it? And I couldn't do the mental arithmetic, on the back of 120 minutes and a flight that was 8 time zones away 4 days prior. And I grabbed a guy called Nick Christou, who was our assistant producer on the night. Great lad, Nick. Literally grabbed him by the collar, and as I said these words on air, literally looked into his eyes and asked for confirmation. And I said, and that means if John Aloisi scores goal, Australia will be there. And he had this moment of blind panic because this responsibility onto him. And he did the quick, counting on the fingers and thumbs, and gave me the thumbs up just as Johnny stepped up, and I said, "Here's Aloisi for a place in the World Cup." So thank goodness for Nick Christou. He saved my baby.
Oh, dear. We've got another quick one in here. When Tracy scored at the Asian Cup final, your commentary, emotion, excitement, do you list that as one of the second best commentary moments behind the 2005 World Cup?
Well, to be honest, I put the 2006 World Cup in Germany ahead of all of them, really. That was the tournament I enjoyed and was probably most satisfied with professionally, because I managed to nail the goals, which is always the big one. Particularly the first one from Timmy Cahill, which I was well aware was the country's first ever at a World Cup finals. And the big
that was the wonder strike against the Netherlands, wasn't it?
No, that was Japan.
Against Japan.
Oh no.
And then the game against Croatia, obviously with all the palaver going on with Graham Poll issuing the 3 yellow cards. And then, all the way through to the Italy round of 16 game. So overall, I was satisfied and happy in large part with my performance. And I enjoyed that tournament a lot. That's not to say I didn't enjoy the Asian Cup in 2015. I did. But I think, because that was on home soil, I was familiar with all the grounds. It wasn't the same experience as traveling around Germany following a World Cup, as brilliant as it was. And the final was great. And I was delighted in particular for Ange Postecoglou, who's the best Australian coach that ever walked the earth. I'd say that the World Cup in Germany was number one for me.
There we go. Rightio, we're going to punch through a few of these. Obviously, VAR. We'll get your thoughts on the VAR. What do you think, mate?
Get rid of it.
Get rid of it.
Next question.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, agreed.
No, that's exactly how I wanted it. Just straight and short as a nut. Beautiful. Obviously, winter football over summer.
Yep. Agree with it. I think it's long overdue. I know the arguments against it. But we're up against the other codes. Well, let's be honest, we're not getting much of a shout anyway at the moment, are we, in summer?
Exactly.
So I think it's time that we did. I think it's time that we did what's best for football. And football is a winter sport. It's better to watch in winter. The players can run around with greater aerobic capacity. I think it's more comfortable largely for the supporters. And people say, oh, well, they're going to have to choose between, that. Well, the crowds aren't great at the moment anyway. So I think we've got to try something different. And I think winter football is at least a good idea to try. If it doesn't work, hey, we can always move back.
No, 100%. What have we got in here? How much of an impact will COVID be on Australian football as a whole?
It's a good question. Obviously, it's been very, very difficult for all the sports, really, but particularly for us because, we're one of the smaller ones and our TV deal has been, reduced by almost half. So, financially, we're struggling. But out of adversity, can come something brilliant. And in 6 months' time, I think we've got an opportunity not only to reshape our future, but, reshape the landscape in some ways. Excuse me. We got the possibility of maybe moving to an OTT platform or moving to a different broadcaster, maybe splitting the broadcast up, the end of this exclusivity, which I think is probably in recent times started to harm the game a little bit, and sort of reimagine the future a bit. So, COVID has probably made all that possible. Were it not for COVID, we'd still be locked into another 2 years of the TV deal on the back of this one. And, the way things are at the moment, I don't necessarily think that would be healthy. So, a bit of both.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Obviously, sort of on the COVID scenario, second division's obviously been talked about a lot. Obviously, so many people have got different opinions on it. That it's going to take years to happen. People want it straight away. What are your thoughts on the second division? And should it stay? Should it be now? Should we wait? And if we have to wait, what needs to be done to get it where it needs to be?
We need it. We need it as soon as possible. Now, whether that's 2022, 2023, 2025, I don't know. That depends on the financials and the people who are charged with running it and getting it up and running. But we definitely need it, and we need it for many reasons, in my opinion. I think the A-League, as great as it is, needs a little bit of competition at the bottom end. And I'm not saying we have promotion relegation just right from the off, but I think ultimately we need that to create that competitive tension at the bottom of the A-League as well as up at the top. I think it will help our players immeasurably to be under that sort of pressure. I think it will help us in terms of having more jobs for professional footballers and for coaches and for administrators and, hey, who knows, even commentators. So it's all about growing the football economy. And at the moment, our economy is very, very small. Yep. And it's not grown a whole lot in the last 15 years. Now, you look at the J-League, and I know Japan's a different country and it's got more people and it's more densely packed than Australia is, so there's a lot of differences, but they started off with a 10-team J1 many years ago. Now they are up to 57 professional clubs across 3 divisions. Their women's team has won a World Cup. Their men's team regularly reaches the knockout phase of the World Cup. They win Asian Cups and many more tournaments, the Asian Champions League, blah, blah, blah. Yep. And that's because they had a vision and they had a plan. Everybody agreed on it and everybody stuck to it. We tend to do things in such an ad hoc manner. Even the latest round of expansion, which when it came around, we need 2 new clubs. Well, let's start a bidding war. Instead of going, well, this is where we need to go. That's what we need to do. That's where we need to target. Instead, everything's so, haphazard. And even now, after that latest round of expansion, the A-League clubs are talking about, well, we want to get to 16 clubs. Great, fantastic. How are you going to do it? Nobody knows. There is no plan in place to get to 16 clubs. So we've got to start being more strategic in our thinking rather than this endless short-termism and boom and bust, which has been the pattern for Australian football over the last 40, 50 years. I'm sorry if I'm going on. I'm evangelical about it, but in my opinion, that's what needs to happen. But that's it comes down to good leadership. So,
100%. That's the biggest thing Ben and I have spoken about many a times in regards to, as I've said, they've stated they want 16 teams. I'm like, well, you've just put 2 new teams in. You can't just go willy-nilly and just putting another 2 teams in or whatever. You've got to make sure these are going to survive, which teams haven't in the past, your Gold Coast and etc. So you're looking at a minimum 2 to 3 years at least to make sure that they're financially good, backing and stuff like that. Before you even think about adding another team in. The Central Coast have been since day one.
It's even geographical location. Like Canberra are 3/4 of the way towards already having a full structure, being A-League, W-League, and Y-League. All they need is the A-League, and that's it. Surely that would be a cleaner idea to put an A-League team there. They've already got the foundations for it there, with relatively, less investment I think maybe the wrong word, but
Well,
with
Jock,
a bit more investment, like they're 3/4 the way there.
the thing is, I mean, Canberra's a good example. You're right; they're 2/3 of the way there. If they're going to be brought in, and at some point, clearly it looks as though they're going to be, why not announce that now and say they are coming in along with maybe one other, because you still need an even number of teams. We are going to expand to 14 teams in 5 years. It can be 5 years away if necessary, but preferably 2 or 3 years, and then everybody knows they're coming in, and everybody can focus towards that in Canberra. You can get your stadium ready, you can sell your memberships, you can start putting your footprint down in that part of the world, because people know it's going to happen. Instead, what we did with our expansion, particularly Western United, right, Macarthur got a year, and I think they're better off for that. Western United were brought in the space of 6 months, and in my opinion, and I think they'll be fine, by the way, long-term Western United. I think they've got two key differentials. One, they've got a geographical identity, and secondly, they're going to build this stadium, which will be great. But when they first came in, they weren't ready. The fans weren't there, and they went and played at that ludicrous. They're still playing there at that. AFL over 38,000 seats, which is a great stadium. It's nowhere fit for purpose for Western United or for the A-League.
Oh no!
So they should have been made to wait, or they should have been planned for earlier. Correct. And instead, again, we had this ludicrous bidding war. And essentially, as I understand it, it came down to, well, who's going to pay the most money?
That's it.
Well, that's not a way to build a league.
Exactly.
You've got to do it more strategically than that. Otherwise, you get Gold Coast United, you get North Queensland Fury. And we can't afford to do that. So, I'd like to see now that the A-League clubs have got control, them come out at some point over the next 12 months and say, we will expand to 14 clubs in, say, 2024. And the two clubs will be in Canberra and, wherever else. Brisbane, Adelaide, I don't know. But wherever else they're going to be. And then they can plan for it.
Correct. Which means, obviously, they can get their foundation, as I said, where I was saying before, obviously, you've got to give them at least 2 or 3 years. They've done it. So when they come in, they should have everything done. As you said, the stadium and memberships and people and everything's done and ready to go. So... yeah, it's one of those things. My biggest thing, my argument is every time when we talk about stuff like this is the Central Coast have been in since day one. How haven't they got a W League side? It annoys the shit out of me.
They had one for one season.
They did. They started off with one, but it got canned or whatever. They couldn't afford it or whatever it is. But it's got to be a custom. It's got to be part of the friggin'...
I thought that was part of the licensing agreement.
I'll tell you one of the reasons. It's because... the stadium on the Central Coast doesn't have dual changing facilities. That's been one of the sticking points. There's only 2 changing rooms where I think there really should be 4. So that's one of the problems. But I agree with you. They should have a W League team. I think they wanted a W League team this season. I think they applied to come in, but for whatever reason, they were refused. And again, don't ask me why. No. It's baffling, some of these decisions. But I agree that they should be in. But of course, equally, bizarrely, we have Canberra United that does have a W League team, but doesn't have an
A-League side.
That's it.
So, and we got Wellington trying to push to get in and playing out of Wollongong, and it's all a bit of a mess. But it needs to be resolved.
Merge with the coast. Wellington, Central Coast. Put the money in together and go, right, it's the Wellington W League team or something like that. Mix it up, save your money. Because there's no point of flying W League girls flying over to Wellington every week. So, let's join one or something.
It's a bit cost prohibitive.
Anyway, we'll move on.
In saying that, in going back to our expansion teams, the final word I'm going to have a say on that is one should definitely be Canberra. The other one should either be one that's based in either Fremantle or another one that's based in Adelaide.
Okay.
My personal opinions.
There you go.
Personally, I would go to Queensland. I think second team in Brisbane or maybe Ipswich. I think Brisbane Roar need a bit of a kick up the bum. I think they need a local rival. It did well. It really sorted Sydney FC out, let me tell you, when the Wanderers came in, because they were on the precipice before that, but that gave them the kick up the backside they needed. We've seen how those intra-city rivalries really give you a sense of something different. with the Melbourne Derby and the Sydney Derby. So I would be going to Brisbane. But having said that, obviously there's got to be the money and the infrastructure there and the desire to have it. So who knows?
Move Brisbane down to Gold Coast Stadium a few times. There you go.
Yeah, well, we've tried Gold Coast, haven't we?
Yeah. No, it still have to be Brisbane. It still have to be Brisbane, but move them down a bit.
Maybe Gold Coast could work under it. Obviously, Clive Palmer was pretty divisive. Maybe under different leadership it could work. I don't know.
Yeah. What do we got here? Obviously, we're talking about the broadcasting side of things. Obviously, your thoughts on the broadcasting, where it should end up. Obviously, we know you've finished up with Fox Sports, etc. Should they have it next season? Should we be looking at it somewhere else? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, look, I'm not saying that Fox shouldn't have a piece of it, but I don't think they should have it exclusively, no. And certainly on the strength of what's happened over the last 3 or 4 years, it seems pretty clear to me, and I think most people, that they've lost a lot of love for it. Now, in fairness, they've had good reason to, because our leadership has been abysmal. And they've had every right to be irritated, annoyed, because they haven't had a return on their investments. But, their investment is now halved, which probably brings it back to sort of realistic levels. But, I don't see that they are going to drive this league or this game to where it needs to go. I think it will only ever grow to where they're happy with it growing to. Their investment, and this is their prerogative. Their investment largely is in Aussie rules, rugby league, cricket. That's where they've put their money, their eggs into those baskets. That's their right. But I think we need a better future than they can offer at the moment. So I'd like to see an OTT platform. I'm not saying, excuse me, that all games necessarily should be on there. It'd be good to have a free-to-air partner that cares about it. I'm not saying ABC don't at the moment, but, really gave it some traction. And maybe some other players might come into the market, ones that we're not expecting at the moment. So that's why I think it's in many ways an exciting time. It's a worrying time as well, because where's the money going to come from at the end of the Fox deal? But maybe the ideal solution is a mixture. But, certainly we can't just keep going down the same road with, all games exclusive on Fox bar one, because it's not growing the game. And they're not helping growing the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree.
Totally off topic, but I agree with that, Matt Taylor. Mark Bosnich's hair, fabulous.
The past 2
weeks, fabulous.
Past 2 weeks.
I love listening to him and friggin' Adam Peacock. They just.
See, again,
Bosnich
not
is
a
right.
fan. Not a fan. He played for Villa.
No. Just the fact that obviously he was bitching and whinging yesterday about the friggin' the handball incident and shit like that, or whatever it is, and then Peacock was trying to think of the fans and everything else, and it just got into an absolute shit show, absolute pisser. But anyway, now I got this question, or I got what we're going to talk about quickly off your podcast that you do, which I will throw the links in at the end of the show to go and have a look at, because it's very, very interesting stuff. No question about it. Obviously, was it Shim Spider and so much more? I believe it is.
That's it.
So yeah, be sure, guys, to go and check it out. As I said, I'll leave the link and so forth down below, because it's brilliant. Three experts talking about friggin' football that needs to be talked about. None of this shit that we don't hear on TV and stuff like that. This stuff needs to be talked about. And one of the things was the whole international transfer budgets, and obviously, the transfer deals and stuff like that. So I'm going to paint a sort of a picture which you went over. The transfer budget is around $1.9 million compared to some of the bigger nations and so forth, like Netherlands. I think theirs was up around.
That's the net income for Australian clubs. Yeah.
Net income. Yeah. So, and then obviously you got the likes of, as you said, Netherlands in the podcast. 500 million or something. We get closer to home. Obviously, you're looking at around the 40 odd mark in Japan and stuff like that. And then obviously you were talking about dividing that a little bit. So A-League clubs are roughly paying the NPL clubs on an average $402,000 in 2019. That was off the stats that you got.
Yep.
Which obviously goes into $1,200 or something per club over 5 years. Your thoughts? I know. I've heard it. You were talking about it, but can you explain to these guys? What are your thoughts on that? It's bullshit.
Well, I mean, it smacks again of a football culture that has not matured quickly enough. We understand, why there wasn't an internal transfer system when the A-League started, because they wanted to get the clubs financially viable. That worked, didn't it?
So they're still trying.
Yeah, they're still trying. Belatedly, they've come to the realization that part of how you make the game financially viable here is actually by transfer fees. Surprise, surprise. It only works in the rest of the world for the last 100 years. Clubs here need to not only work the transfer market internationally a lot better, and, I'll give you a couple of examples. Players leave the A-League and they go overseas, and we're happy to see them go because, that's career progression. We understand it. Yeah. But our clubs get nothing. Yeah. They don't get transfer fees. Now, you look at Daniel Arzani. I know this is a slightly different sort of scenario because he was playing for Melbourne City. So technically he moved within the group to the City Football Group, to Manchester City, who loaned him out to Celtic, who've now loaned him out to Utrecht. And if you believe the last 24 hours, he's about to be loaned out somewhere else again, or maybe come back to Australia. But the fact is that he signed for Manchester City, and the A-League here, the Australian football ecosystem, didn't see a dollar. Now, that's for arguably the most talented player that we've produced in the last 10, 15 years. That has to change. Adam Taggart was another one. He was top scorer for Brisbane Roar a couple of years ago. He signed for Suwon. Now, to be fair, Brisbane did get some sort of a transfer fee. Yeah. I think it was around the $1 million mark, maybe something like that. Yeah. If you translate that into British pounds, and I do that because I'm British, £500,000 for a full Socceroo who was the top scorer for the club in the senior competition in Australia. That's nothing. Yeah. It's peanuts. Yeah. Now, the same player, if he was playing for, say, Brentford or Bolton Wanderers, somebody, a lower league team in England, if the Premier League came sniffing around and said, oh, we like him, we're going to buy him, that transfer fee would automatically be 2, 3, 4, maybe even £5 million.
Yep.
That's the sort of money that we should be getting. So we've got to be a lot smarter playing the international transfer system. Yep. When we do that, that will hopefully have a trickle-down effect. And you're right, the money that's being given to the NPL clubs at the other end of the the evolutionary scale for developing players is nothing. Yeah. What's the incentive for an NPL club to spend years training, developing, giving experience to a talented young kid when an A-League club can come along and go, oh, he's good, we'll have him, here's $1,000. What's the point of that for them? Yeah. There's no return in it. So the whole ecosystem is suffering for the lack of this transfer system. The good news is, belatedly, we've realised, I'm not sure we needed a white paper to go through it, but anyway, now we're having a consultation process. Just bring it in. Yeah. We all know what it looks like. Just bring it in. And let's get on with it.
Yeah. I think obviously in the chat in here, obviously, with a lot of these guys in here, obviously Newcastle Jets fans, this is what we were trying to say, obviously, from ages ago when Dimmy left. Laurie come out and he clearly stated, because everyone was like, we've let him go. Laurie, he come out clear as day. He goes, we've got a transfer for him. See ya. If you're going to get money and a good dollars, especially in the situation where we're in at the moment, you take that crap. You don't even think about it and go, oh, he's a good player. We should hold on to him maybe. Or we should
to be brutally honest as well, to be fair, we made two transfer we got 2 transfer fees for Dimmy.
Correct.
Because when we were meant to get him from Brisbane originally and they ended up selling him to the K-League, we got part of that transfer fee too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he hadn't even kicked the ball for us.
Yeah. And that's it. So it's...
And then you've gotten a boot to Urawa as well.
Yeah. At the end of the day...
That was you wait to the end of the season and you can have him for X amount, but if you want him now, the price goes up.
Yeah, and then he goes back.
Because that was the grand final winning, that was the grand final losing year.
Anyway, that's a different story, that one. He went back to Melbourne and friggin' went on the scrap heap and got saved by City. So, anyway. But yeah, look, as I said, it's one of these things which it's just disgusting. When I sort of was listening to it and these figures sort of come out of your mouth and that, I was just like, wow, really?
Okay, prime example, Matty Miller.
Yeah, what about him?
When Shrewsbury didn't take up the offer of 50,000. That's it.
Yeah.
50,000. That's peanuts for a player like Matty Miller.
I guarantee there's plenty of A-League
Here's
clubs.
the key, Josh. Here's the key, Josh. So initially they took him on loan, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
So he went over there. He played a few games for them.
Yep.
They had a good long look at him, and okay, in the end they've decided not to purchase. You know,
Yep.
it's like going to the shop, isn't it? And you have a prod around of the chickens, and say, oh, yeah, that one, I'm not going to buy that one.
Yeah.
But the fact is that does not benefit the Newcastle Jets.
No.
Yeah.
Because they've had to do without their player.
Yeah.
Shrewsbury have had a nice long look and gone, yeah, thanks very much, we're not buying.
Yeah.
And now he comes back.
Yeah.
What? And in 6 months' time, somebody else wants to have a look at him and just go, yeah, okay, off you go.
Yeah.
And at the same point as well, we've got him
hard
back and can't play him because he's got COVID and he's going to sit in hotel quarantine for 2 weeks.
Right. So we've got to be a lot more hard-nosed about this. Now, the only A-League club I remember in living memory that actually did this, and I remember them copping a lot of heat for it, Mark Milligan, when he was at Melbourne Victory, Crystal Palace wanted to sign him.
Yeah.
And Melbourne Victory said, no,
Stand there for it.
he's under contract. You want to sign him, you pay us $2 million. And everybody went, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Every
a
other
great
club in the world
opportunity
does
for it. And every other club in the world does it.
Yeah.
So I admired Melbourne Victory. I know it was really tough on Millsy, and I felt sorry for him. But every other club in the world has this hard-nosed approach to transfer. If you want this player badly enough, hey, you can have it, but you pay for it.
Yeah. I don't know. I tell you what. If I'm another A-League club, I know it's not going to happen, obviously, because it's Australian football. But it come out obviously in the media that obviously the transfer fee was $50,000 or whatever. Surely, if I'm a club owner going, I've got 50 grand, I'll give it to you. I'll take him.
Yeah.
Like, shit. No problem.
Yeah.
Is that it? Oh, no worries.
Well, I'm not sure they do have 50 grand. That's the problem.
Also, some of them, mate. A lot of them don't. But Carl,
I mean, and in saying that, how do you think a team like South Melbourne's going to feel, who had Matty Miller ripped out from underneath them by the Mariners originally, and then we've gotten him, and then they found out that we get 50 grand for him should he go to Shrewsbury if he did. How much? What does South Melbourne get?
Yeah.
Well, again, this look, I don't know the details of Matt Miller's transfer from South Melbourne to Central Coast Mariners. Yeah. It could be, it's entirely possible, we should give them the benefit of the doubt here, that they said, okay, you can have him, but there is a sell-on clause. And, clubs have got to get smarter doing this as well.
Correct.
I tell you, the best club that used to do that was the Central Coast Mariners.
Yep.
They earned millions out of Matt Ryan, not his initial move, but when he moved on to Valencia and then on to Brighton, they had sell-on clauses all the way down the line. Yep. Same with Trent Sainsbury, same with Miller Jedinak, same with Tommy Rogic, I think, although he's not moved from Celtic since. But, that's the way to structure the deals as well. Even if you're not getting a big fee up front, if the player is successful, you've got to make sure you benefit from that. And that's got to feed the ecosystem right down the line.
Birmingham City did it with Jack Butland, Damari Gray.
Yep.
Yeah, but they're smart.
Jude Bellingham.
The English clubs and other world clubs are smart. As I said, we talk about NPL structure and stuff like that. Again, something you guys said on the podcast. You look at the Netherlands. They got the if not the best youth development in the world, and they're so smart about it.
Look at the one club that is very smart about it, because of course they're owned by the City Football Group, is Melbourne City. Yeah. Now, two big examples for you: one local, one international.
Yep.
Aaron Moy signs from Western Sydney Wanderers for nothing. They got him for nothing. Now, to be fair, Wanderers didn't want him at the time, so good on Melbourne City for giving him an opportunity. He played for 2 years in the A-League, as we all know. He tore it up over here. They sent him out to Manchester City, in inverted commas, and loaned him out to Huddersfield Town. He plays a full season in the Championship, impresses. Huddersfield want him. Bingo, 10 million quid. $20 million profit on one player. Now, the international version of this, and this one, even as a Man City fan, doesn't make me very comfortable, to be honest. Now, you'll have heard of a goalkeeper called Angus Gunn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So Angus Gunn, the son of Brian Gunn, former Norwich City goalkeeper, came through the Norwich City youth system. They trained him, they developed him, He didn't play a first-team game for them, but when he got to 15-16, Manchester City spotted his potential and said, we'll have him. So they went in and grabbed him. Norwich said, hey, you can't do that. That's our player. They went to an industrial tribunal or a transfer tribunal, and the tribunal ordered City to pay £250,000, which is like $10 to you and me, right? To the City Football Group. So Angus Gunn goes to Manchester City. He spends 2 years there. He doesn't play a first-team game. All right, they develop him for 2 years. Then he goes back on loan to Norwich City, plays a full year in the Championship, is an absolute star. All of a sudden, he's worth 15 million quid, and Southampton pay Manchester City 15 million quid. That's their return on a player they didn't develop. They never played in the first team, and the only first team experience he had when he was there was to loan him back to his former club who developed him in the first place.
Exactly.
Now, that's playing the transfer system brilliantly. Is it right?
No.
Not necessarily, but it's smart, and that's what the big clubs do.
100%.
That's everywhere in the UK's system.
Yeah.
Have you heard today that Chelsea's longest-serving player has just left the club?
Yes.
Do you know what his name is?
Yes.
Oh, I can't remember his name. I did read that. He's been everywhere. So many loan
His
deals.
name is Lucas
That's
Piazon.
him.
Yeah,
And he's been at Chelsea for 10 years.
he's
and
been at
played
Chelsea,
3
on loan
games.
at Fulham. He's been around.
Oh, the money. And just
8
think,
clubs on loan.
yeah. And he probably cost City next to nothing because obviously they would have been getting money off the clubs he'd gone to and everything else. So they would have been having to pay him next to nothing. Guys in the chat, we'll talk about the Jets in a bit. We're not going to bother Simon Hill with that shit. It's hard enough as a Jets fan to deal with that shit, let alone someone who's been there to work and obviously having to watch it. Been there. I've had the faith since day one. It's hard. It's frustrating. It's hard.
It's frustrating.
But anyway, we've got a couple quick more, and then we're going to let you go, mate. Obviously, the other one we want to talk to you about is obviously the Women's World Cup, 2023. Massive achievement, obviously, from Australia. We've punished them. We've punished Australian football a fair bit, but let's talk a little bit of positive. We've got the World Cup, obviously sharing it with New Zealand. What are your thoughts on that? And how do you feel it's going to help possibly the A-League/W League, even let's say the youth divisions, hopefully?
Well, look, I mean, it's great that we've got a major tournament here.
Yeah.
It's 3 years build-up. There's going to be a lot of interest around the Matildas, obviously, which will help, hopefully, the game here. My fear is twofold. I'm not trying to sound negative, but it's our job as journalists is to ask questions and to hold people to account. So, in 2015 we had the Asian Cup here, and everybody said, "Oh, this is going to be brilliant for football in Australia." And what happened? We went and won it.
Yeah.
Now it couldn't have been any better for us as a nation, football-wise. That tournament. What was the legacy of that tournament? Zero. People forgot about it in 5 minutes. A-League crowds and ratings dropped off a cliff.
Yeah.
What was the legacy in terms of facilities for football? And I'll tell you one of the legacies, and this is not too far from your neck of the woods. During the Asian Cup, a ground in Cessnock was redeveloped.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because Japan went to train there. So it was redeveloped using money for football. Guess who plays there now?
Their local side.
Rugby league team.
Oh.
So, what is the legacy for football? And my fear is in 2023, we've got all this hype around the tournament, which is great. Not decrying it for a moment. I think it'll be brilliant. And I think for the duration of the tournament, the whole country will be behind the Matildas.
Yeah.
My question is, what's going to be the long-term legacy of that tournament for facilities? Because I don't see any stadiums being built for football on the back of this World Cup, for at least not yet.
Yeah.
And secondly, and we saw this at the weekend, I was in Newcastle for the A-League game, which preceded the W League game.
Yep.
And it was the same in Sydney on Saturday night.
We were talking about this.
As soon as the A-League game finished,
all gone.
80% of the crowds walked out.
Yep.
So what's the plan to grow attendance figures and get people watching the W League, both in the stadiums and on television? Because in Europe, the biggest games in the FA Women's Super League, in Spain, in France, Germany, etc., they're getting 30, 40, 50,000 people watching.
Yeah.
We're lucky if we're getting 300 or 400 to some of our W League games here.
Yep.
So what's the plan? I'm all for the positivity surrounding the World Cup. It's great.
Yep.
But if I hear this is going to be great for women and for women's sport one more time, I think I'll scream. What about what's great for football?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a football tournament.
Correct.
And the legacy for this tournament should be for football, not for women, not for men, not for sport in general, not for rugby league, not for Aussie rules, not for cricket, for football.
Yep.
What's it giving us? That's my question.
And a very good one, 100%.
And a very valid one, yeah.
Absolutely. So, yeah.
I agree with the fact that no stadiums are going to get built or even maintained to a little bit of a higher standard.
Yeah, I was going to say, we don't overly need, it'd be great to have new stadiums. We've got plenty of facilities to accommodate
No, that's with respect, that's not the point. We've got facilities that are owned by other codes and councils that have other codes as their main focus.
Yeah.
Now, what we need in this country is proper football stadiums and proper football training facilities, by the way. A lot of clubs still don't have their own training facility, just as a starter. But we need proper football stadiums that are, if not purpose-built for football, then suitable for football. And at the moment, we still play too many games on AFL ovals with cricket pitches in the middle, or in stadiums that are
way too big.
Okay, theoretically rectangles, but we had the Sydney Derby on Saturday at ANZ Stadium, which holds 80,000, and there was 15,000 people there. How are we supposed to generate any atmosphere in that? And I know COVID's slightly different, but we played games there before COVID.
Yeah. I mean, prime example, look at Brisbane Roar at Suncorp for years.
Yeah.
Same much sort of deal. That's why they're much better at Dolphin Stadium. And you can see that just watching the telecast.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, Lockie's just put in one there. Obviously, one of the guys from our major sponsor, Gabriel Optometry, he was at the 2014 World Cup, and he's just stated that they built a stadium in Curitiba, I'm sorry if I butchered it, Brazil, that was purposely built for the 2014 World Cup, and nothing has been played there since.
Yep, that's true.
You know what I mean?
But that was a 56, 60,000 seater stadium, and they didn't have a national league team there.
Yeah.
The same with the one in Brasilia. They only had, I think, a third or fourth division team there. I'm not talking about going to, Wagga Wagga and sticking a 50,000 seater stadium there. Yeah. I'm talking about having 20, 30,000 seater compact boutique venues in the areas of the country where we have A-League teams, which is where the games are going to be played. Yeah. Now, Western Sydney Wanderers have a great facility at Bankwest. They share it with the Eels, but Sydney FC are crying out for a boutique stadium. I think the Newcastle Jets, I know everybody loves McDonald Jones, but I think it's too big for the Jets.
Absolutely it is.
Yeah, no, agree.
30-odd thousand.
Yeah.
That's another place where you could redevelop a boutique stadium, 15,000, 20,000, which would be perfect size for the Jets. So, I understand that argument, but I'm sorry.
I totally agree. I totally agree. Now thinking about it, totally agree. Thinking about it like that, absolutely. You know what I mean? Like, as I said, in my head, because I suppose in my head I just figure it's never going to happen. We just got to deal with what we got.
We've spent 40, 50 years saying can't. Yeah. We're so used to being downtrodden and saying, oh, no, we can't do that. It'll never happen. We can't have a second division. We can't have promotion and relegation. We can't have a transfer system. We can never build new stadiums. We just got to accept our lot. We're fourth tier. Well, why should we? Why should we?
There's nothing stopping us.
This is the biggest game in the world, the biggest participation sport in the country, and it's only 4 years since we had 62,000 people at the Sydney Derby.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why shouldn't we dream big?
Absolutely.
Why shouldn't we demand those facilities and that government money and that corporate support? We deserve it.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Obviously, it's one of those things. Obviously, the FFA Cup, obviously, it is a good tournament as well. And obviously, again, we get to see the likes of obviously your local NPL sides and stuff like that. Sort of going back on the old. NPL sort of things and what we need to do to develop youth. What's your thoughts on the FFA Cup? Is there anything they can do to ramp it up, or are you happy with the way it is?
No, I think you'll see some tweaks to the tournament, not least, of course, because it's outside the broadcast deal with Fox. so you won't see it on Fox.
Yeah.
So that gives them a chance maybe to put it on an OTT platform or to go somewhere else to test the water, which I think is great. I think they were contemplating having a group stage, but whether that's been thrown out the window, I think there's a bit of a rebellion against that. But I actually understood the rationale behind it, and that was to give NPL clubs, 3 or 4 games in the cup instead of just potentially the one.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think we'll see an open draw. Obviously, we're going to see Asian Champions League qualification or a half spot at least for the winners, which I think is great. Puts us into line with, the rest of Asia. So I think there are tweaks to the tournament that can be done.
Yep.
Personally, I'd be in favour of expanding, if we're not going to go group stage, to a round of 64. Go one step further and, let's televise that round. I think part of the magic of the Cup is that you have these stories from clubs that we rarely hear about, and yet they're all part of the rich fabric of football in Australia.
Yeah.
They barely get any publicity, and they should do.
Absolutely.
They deserve their 15 minutes in the sun because they've worked bloody hard for this game.
Yeah.
There is absolutely nothing. There's absolutely nothing better and sweeter than going to Green Gully Stadium on a Tuesday night and in full Jets kits to watch the Coast get done by a Liam Boland screamer from halfway.
That was you, wasn't it?
That was us.
Yeah, that was us. That was us.
That was us.
Oh, we loved it.
And then watching Tony Walmsley getting sacked the next day.
That was sweet too, yeah. Even with the Green Gully fans, that was a screamer too. It was a great goal. But But yeah, look, as I said, I think the other broadcasting for me, obviously, a little bit further. Obviously, when they
need more moments like that.
Yeah, when we get to the 16 and stuff like that, most of it's obviously broadcasted. But a little bit further back, you know what I mean? As you said, if you go to 32, 64, whatever, that stuff I think needs to be broadcasted. Not your basic thingos to get through to the group, get through to that, but from then on, everything needs to be broadcasted. Whether it's two dinky friggin' sides or whatever, it needs to happen. Like shit, as you're talking about dream big and stuff like that, Wollongong, they beat Wellington.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine who played in that. I'm not going to sit there and I have no idea what the lineups were.
No, Luke gave me a rundown on the lineup. They fielded 3/4 of their first team.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Well, that just goes to show that the gap, isn't perhaps that big at the moment. And that's healthy for football in Australia. If we can have that, that competition, it shows that a national second division perhaps should be here already.
Yeah. Well, I've only got a couple of small little ones that we can quickly whiz through. The only last major one I've got is in regards to coaches. Your thoughts on the coaching scenario in Australian football? Obviously, again I heard on the podcast, you were talking about coaches in the A-League to obviously down to the NPL clubs getting paid next to nothing. What are your thoughts there? I've always been a believer of we should be looking at getting some of our best coaches that maybe pass it. We had Branko Kalina on, who sort of said he loves getting down to the NPL clubs now, and obviously, looking for gems and diamonds in the rough and stuff like that. What are your thoughts on the coaching scenario? In regards to... Yeah.
Sorry, what's the question?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so what are your thoughts on obviously more experienced coaches? Do we need more experienced coaches, obviously, who may have already coached at a decent level back in the lower
at A-League level? You're talking about?
Yeah, A-League level. A-League level will do. Yeah.
But, well, I don't know about more experienced. I think I'd like to see more NPL coaches given a chance. To be honest.
Well, yeah.
There's coaches in the state leagues. A couple of examples. Brian Brown won a lot of trophies with Bonnie Rig in New South Wales. Damien Borrie won, I think, 6 consecutive South Australian titles. There are other coaches. I know John Anastasiadis did a good job with Bentley Greens. He's got an opportunity, which is great, as number 2 to Mark Rudin at Western United. So I'd like to see the pathway opened up a little bit. There's not many NPL coaches that are mentioned in dispatches when an A-League job becomes available. Maybe that's changing a little bit. Warren Moon's just gone to Brisbane Roar from the Queensland Lions in Brisbane, but I think there should be a pathway there. Again, the NPL is our second division. It's just that we bizarrely don't see it as that. I don't know why. And when a coaching job becomes available, it seems to be all, the same names mentioned in dispatches over and over and over again. And if it's not one of them, then it's somebody from overseas, which must be pretty dispiriting if you're doing well in the NPL and you never get a chance. So again, I'm sorry to keep harking on about the second division, but a second division would give that extra exposure and that extra experience to those coaches. That's why one of the many reasons we need it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We've just got a couple of real quick ones here which we've had come in. When will we see Green Malishi doing a gig in Newcastle?
Green Manalishi.
Manalishi, sorry.
Green Manalishi, get it right.
Yeah, unfortunately, well, if somebody wants to invite us up to do a gig, we'd be happy to come up. Obviously, it's a bit of a schlep, so we'd have to hire a van, I guess, to get all the gear up there. But I'm not sure many pubs are doing proper gigs at the moment with fans in because of the COVID situation. But we'd be more than happy to come up to Newcastle so long as you're into your new wave of British heavy metal from the 80s.
Yes,
we're actually playing a gig on the 5th of February. So if you fancy coming down south to Sydney to support us, you're more than welcome.
There you go. Absolutely.
I'll tell you what, Josh, get on the lorry. If Joey Champions can get a gig out the front of the stadium, I'm sure these guys can.
Half-time entertainment.
Junior generation, to be honest.
And
is Iron Maiden.
Hell yeah, Iron Maiden, bloody oath. Well, mate, we'll look into it. I've got a few mates in the bar, sort of friggin' nightclubby sort of shit. We'll tee something up.
Good. If they want us up there, we're happy to come.
There we go. No, done deal. I'll try and sort something out. The other one I've got in here, which I don't know how this question got in here or how he's been able to come in here and ask this question, but I'm just going to read it. Here we go. This is the question that's just come in. Was Michael Caine's Viduka Uncovered the best piece of Australian football journalism in many a while?
Is that signed M. Caine?
Yeah.
Michael, it was brilliant, mate. You should have won that Walkley, but we all know why you didn't.
Yeah, we had him on last week. Friggin' he was talking about that. Yeah, he got robbed.
He's a Caine.
Absolutely, friggin' great bit of stuff. Other than that, mate, we're going to end with obviously the other piece of material that you're doing at the moment, a game of two halves, as we mentioned, I think before. Be sure to go check that out. It is absolutely hilarious. It's good to have a bit of a laugh in football, and you do it so well. You do it so well, mate. And hopefully, friggin' we can get it bigger and on a platform, hopefully, where everyone can really tune in weekly, maybe.
Is that the one that's on YouTube?
Watch this space.
There it is. What's that, Ben?
That's the YouTube link, yeah?
Yeah, down the bottom there, YouTube link. So we'll whack that in there as well. Be sure to go check that out. There's a few episodes in there. Obviously, you got your current, a few W League girls in there and stuff like that, and obviously Jamison's in there as well. And it's a good laugh. It's a really good laugh. So be sure to. Is that coming out weekly?
Yeah, we record it and it comes out on I think it's Thursday or a Friday. I think it's Friday.
No worries. Well, you'll roughly get every week, guys. So be sure to look out for it. It's it's an absolute pisser and a good laugh. So honestly, mate, we thank you very much for jumping on to the podcast. We can't thank you enough. Talk a bit of football and obviously everything else. Hopefully, we see you broadcasting football real soon somewhere. Because we hate to see you go back and friggin'... Although, at the end of the day, there's plenty of people over in England who could lose their job for you, seriously. There's some shit commentators over there, honest. I'd be more than happy, actually, to be honest, just thinking about it, friggin' your Keane's... Kane, was it Keane? Yeah, Robbie Keane.
We'll see what happens.
But we'd love to see you over here, mate. Be sure to go check out that stuff, as we mentioned, guys, in the chat. We'll leave the links. But yeah, thanks very much, mate. And we'll speak to you real soon.
Pleasure, guys. Have a good week.
Take it easy, mate.
Thank you very much.
No worries, guys. We thank, obviously, Simon Hill for jumping on, giving us a bit of his time. It is muchly appreciated. And, look, guys, I hope that answered a few different questions in regards to, obviously, world football, at where it's at, where it needs to be improved, etc. It's shambles at times and everything else. Things need to be fixed. We will talk to you guys in the chat a little bit. I do apologise if questions didn't get answered, There was just more so a few things in there, obviously, that we got answered that I really wanted him to answer. Along the lines of youth and stuff like that, more so than, his broadcasting shit and everything else. But yeah. Oh, there we go. Sorry.
I'm just fixing.
Nah, it's all right. I was just making sure I was at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, all good, guys. So, yeah, we do thank you guys for jumping on. It is muchly appreciated. Obviously, everyone who's in here. Wallace, how are you, mate? Cheers,
hey, Wallace.
Cheers, legend. Hope you didn't friggin'... obviously, there was a little bit in there about Western United, so... Obviously, giving you heaps for friggin' playing at GMHBA, but let's be honest, you feel the same way, so... Needs to be changed. Needs to be rectified ASAP, because it's just too big stadium.
But realistically, out in the West, where else is there?
Go to Ballarat. Go to friggin' these places. They get numbers.
Not big enough. Not big enough.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely, it is. Ben,
Which one?
Out of Ballarat.
Which one?
Out of Ballarat.
Where we watched the preseason game?
Yeah.
No.
They can't. They won't fill that, Ben. They won't fill it. They played their...
No, but there is a minimum criteria that they have to have, seating capacity wise.
Yeah.
Okay for an FFA Cup venue, but not for a fully fledged A-League game.
Thank you, Matt.
There has to be a minimum amount of seats.
Muchly appreciated, Matt. No, we thank you, mate. Obviously, thanks for finding us on Spotify as well. It's good to see someone listens to us there. Thanks heaps, buddy. But yeah, no, look, as I said, guys, we try and get on as whoever we can to try and get a bit of football and talk a bit of shit. And obviously, we do heavily feature the Newcastle Jets. I'm a Novocastrian, obviously. Converted Ben to pretty well be one himself. So we do heavily speak about the Jets. But at the end of the day, we do love our world football and obviously how we can improve the game. And a lot of the stuff that Simon said there makes perfect sense, especially in regards to the Women's World Cup.
And you can tell just by listening to how in depth and the tone of his voice when he explains things like that, he has a real passion for it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. He's somewhat become an Aussie. Just from how much he's given. Like, he could have pissed off years ago. As you said, but he's here because he friggin' wants to somewhat try and help and do what he can to friggin' do it. Because, as you said, England doesn't need the help. They're where they are. They're not going anywhere. He'll be the number one. Mate, keep getting it out there, mate. Keep getting it out there for us. Tell everyone about it. Share it around. As I said, guys, they're the biggest things for us. We're not doing it for fame. We're not doing it for anything else. We hit the 200 subscriber mark on YouTube the other day, which is absolutely fantastic. I think someone dropped off, so I think we dropped back to 199, but it is what it is. But yeah,
I was discussing this with you. It always happens.
Yeah, but be sure to, obviously, if you haven't subscribed, get on there and do it. If you know someone who loves their football, regardless of the Jets, because we try not just to, as we said, we don't try and heavily focus on the Jets.
I was waiting for Aiden to make the joke, Matty Taylor. They always ask me what's for dinner.
But yeah, no, honestly, friggin', we thank you very much, Matty. Muchly appreciated. Can't thank Lockie enough, obviously. Gabriel Ma, optometrist at Jesmond. You missed it, Lockie. I said Charlie before.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I friggin' said it either. But Lockie.
You probably had a general on the brain.
Yeah, I probably did. Because he's usually perked in here somewhere. What was I going to say? Lockie, are there any coasters left? Are there any coasters left? Here's a few coasters.
Has Lockie got the coasters?
Yeah, I sent up some to Lockie. So if there's any left, be sure to go grab yourself a Crossbar Capers coaster. Made them for a bit of shits and giggles and stuff like that. But again, obviously,
I've got like 3 on my desk.
A few people like them. Mate, we might need to come to you if they're all gone. We might need to send the bare minimum up. I tipped the Jets to win 2-0 versus Brisbane Roar game on Wednesday.
Yeah, he's got heaps of them.
Yeah, heaps. Beautiful, guys. Be sure to go in and check out Lockie and Gabe at Gabriel Ma, optometrist Jesmond, for all your eye care needs. And if you want one of those coasters, be sure to go in and grab one. They're free. I'm not charging for them at the moment. Not until I become real famous. So they'll be free for a while.
500 subscribers.
Yeah, before you even get a look in. But yeah, be sure to head down there. Us winning, what's that like? I didn't get one when I got the glasses, Luffled. We'll go in. You should have one, I thought, Chris. But welcome, mate. You should be working, but anyway. Matt and Roy to get his 50th. There you go. Chris, I'll bring some on Thursday.
I wonder how Buzz's hair will look this week on the Fox Sports coverage. Probably how it's going to look the past 2 weeks on the
Yes. Yes, what a pisser. But yeah, guys, as I said...
You can tell that the Fox Sports really don't give a shit about it anymore because they don't employ hair and makeup people to deal with Buzz anymore.
No, they freaking shafted them as well. They had to get rid of budget cuts everywhere. But yeah, look, as I said, guys, I hope everyone watching obviously enjoyed it. If you did miss it, hey, babe, you're in there somewhere. I didn't see that. If you've missed it or you missed half of it or whatever it is, be sure it will be out on all social platforms. Obviously, we've got Spotify. Don't have Apple yet, do we? No, they're lazy. Or is it Google?
No, we've got Apple.
Oh, we've got Apple, don't have Google. Yeah, it's on Apple as well. Obviously, you can find it here on YouTube. It's on Twitch every now and then. So be sure to go give those platforms a like or sub or whatever it is. It's all free.
It's disappeared off Facebook because it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, we had it on Facebook all the time, or whatever it is, but it's just sometimes it works.
It doesn't grab traction.
Well, that as well. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and then some days it just doesn't even. When it's on there, it doesn't even help anyone.
And content ID claims us for the starting music.
Big shout out if you were here at the start. Big shout out to Save the Humans. Thank you very much for the intro music. Newcastle band, bunch of great lads. Obviously, I've got a shirt somewhere. They do have merchandise. Save the Humans. Look them up on Facebook. Great bunch of lads. Great music. And yeah, be sure to go check those guys out. I'm happy to sit here for a little bit if you guys want to have a chat. So be sure there's the 16 people in the chat. Comment down the bottom.
Can I respond to a question that's in the chat?
Yes.
Roy on the bench on Wednesday.
Yeah.
He should had 5+ goals.
Yeah.
Too old. Get him gone with Duncan. Sir James.
Welcome, Sir James.
Welcome, Sir James. The one that Yule scored, that wasn't a shot.
Which one?
The one that Yule scored.
Yeah,
the one that Yule scored.
Which time? Which time when Roy touched the ball? The first one that hit the bloke. The second one that come back to him.
No, when he drilled it across the face.
Yeah, no, he was.
When he drilled it across the face, that wasn't going for goal. It wasn't meant to. It was meant to hit Yule.
Yeah. Look, the biggest problem, right?
But everyone looked at that highlight. Even my Sarah looked at that highlight and went, "Why didn't he score? He should have scored." And I'm like, "That wasn't the point."
Well done, Matty.
Duncan out changed my mind. I don't think he should be out. I think he should be at least dropped.
No, well, not out. That's what it is.
I think he should be dropped.
The biggest thing I've got, right, and we go back to the first one. We'll go back to Roy, right? The biggest problem with Roy is not that he's old or anything like that. He's old school. And the blokes that he's playing with are not, other than Hoffy.
Yeah.
Who was amazing. I was more amazed that friggin' he was in that position, let alone what Roy was doing all night. But friggin', I don't know. It's just he's not getting the right service. Whether that's because they don't do it at training, whether that's because he doesn't communicate. Well, not at training. I have no idea. It's hard. He scores goals, and when he scores one, he'll score more. But I would not be upset if he sat on the bench and he come on as an impact player. I think he's at that age now. He's only got 1 year. This is his final year in his contract. He'll be lucky to get another one, with us anyway. I wouldn't be opposed to him coming on 60, 70 minutes and then giving some of the younger blokes a run. No opposed to that. But to say that he's shit or he's past it or anything like that, if he was shit and he was past it, he wouldn't have been there. End of the day.
Yes, Chris.
He's
like you. The ball needs to be at his foot, not a millimetre past.
Maybe we block people in this fucking chat.
Look, when it comes to concerning Roy, A, who he has around him, B, the formation. The formation change the other day really helped Roy. Roy cannot be a lone striker anymore. He's not that type of striker. But with him being so close to Nazarene and playing basically two up top on the weekend, he was in the game.
Yeah, mobile game.
I would be more annoyed.
Yep.
See, this is why I don't understand why people are calling out Roy this week and they haven't been calling him out the prior 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The prior 2 weeks, he did even less than what he did this week.
Yeah.
It's just, you notice it because he's actually in a position to be able to have a crack. Whereas the past 2 weeks, he hasn't even been remotely close to having a crack at goal.
Yeah. If anyone's in the chat as well that is not a Jets supporter, feel free to throw something else in there.
Yeah,
right.
Throw something at it.
The guys are just talking Jets shit because they're all pretty well all Jets supporters. So if you are not a Jets fan, we welcome you to the podcast. I can't stress that enough. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Put something in the chat. It doesn't football related. It doesn't matter what it is. Premier League. We'll talk Premier League. We'll talk the freaking Greek League and freaking how Popper finally got his first point. Freaking what's his name got his first goal. Freaking. Who went over there for friggin' with Popper? Friggin' it's eluded me, but whatever his fucking name is, the Aussie that's gone over there to play with him. Anyway, yeah.
All right, that's the other side of the coin too. Even in preseason, Roy was poor. You've got to remember, at Roy's time at the Jets, if you do the math, he's still a 1 in 2 player.
Yeah, bloody A-flop.
He is still a 1 in 2 player. For every 2 games, he will score 1 goal.
Yeah. Yeah, no dramas, lot. 5th Division, just whip it up on the Google somewhere. We'll freaking talk about the 5th Division Belgian League. It's all sorted.
Lucas Moragas not left wing back, he's a winger. Yes, we know.
100%.
He told us last week.
Yeah. Noopy, what up, mate?
Noopy!
Andrews to replace. Andrews to replace Roy.
Hey, she's 3-3.
She's 3-3. She go all right.
3-3.
Yes, Aiden Voyets, it did score. Congratulations, first goal.
Fucking big up for
Well done.
Voyets,
Well done. He had a fucking shit year last year trying to sort his shit out.
Irvan, give us a wave. Hey, Irvan, give us a wave.
So hopefully more to come. Not against us. I'll be furious if he does that.
I'll slap him if he does score against it.
But hopefully a few more. Hopefully he gets a few more chances because he showed last night, or whatever what was 3 nights ago.
Well, the hate towards Luke Moragas has been a bit much. Agreed, Luke.
Really? I haven't seen any hate. I haven't seen much hate.
Oh, there's been on the supporter groups, there's been a bit of his shit.
What shit are they watching?
Well,
hey, Aiden!
They're watching,
I've got one for you. I've got one for you.
Moragas play out of position and on the wrong foot.
Hang on. Aiden, I've got one for you. As friggin' one of the admin people of the Newcastle Jets fan page, can you tell me who player of the match was this week? I'm dying to know. If it's out and I've missed it, fair enough. But is there a winner? Who's got it this week? Because I'm
do we have a winner yet?
I'll be amazed. I'll be absolutely amazed. Who do you reckon who do you reckon got man of the match? I had this conversation with one of the guys at work today. Absolute pisser. Who do you guys reckon deserved man of the match?
Our man of the match?
Yep. Newcastle Jets best player, whenever it was. What are we, Monday? Yeah, last night. Fuck.
Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah, Jesus. What happened to Voyets? I haven't seen him play.
No, he got his first start this weekend and scored his first game league goal.
Well, rightly, he's been injured. That's the main reason why he hasn't been started.
Yeah, he was injured all last season. Ben Abraham's going to play.
That's one thing I'm not going to go into on this podcast.
No, let's not talk about the penalty / not penalty.
Right, because at the end of the day, it's done. The referee done everything within his right. He done everything that he's been told by the law book to do. So you can't freaking diss him out. He had a pretty good game, in my opinion. So I don't know.
Yeah, he did.
There's nothing really. He gave us shit that friggin' we probably shouldn't have received, and vice versa to them. So it was 50-50 regardless. And as for the penalty decision or whatever it is, it's clearly not a penalty. For the simple fact, whether you agree or you don't agree, it is clearly not a penalty as of the rule book, and that's the end of the story. I'm not going to go into it because there's so much. There's so many but friggin' why should the defender friggin' get a helping hand or whatever it is, literally, because he fucked up and kicked the ball. Fair call. There was one yesterday was it yesterday?
Our one was yesterday.
The women's game last night. Friggin' it was on halfway and the chick friggin' went to kick the ball, and she scuffed it, and it hit her in the hand, and it was a handball. Why? Because she wasn't in a defensive position.
Yeah.
That's the reason why.
When it comes to that situation, I denounce it very much like this.
Yep.
The referee is correct in the decision because it is the law of the game.
Mm.
Do I personally think it's right or fair?
Yep.
Or probably not.
Hmm.
If it hits the hand and the hand's in an unnatural position, doesn't matter whether you're a defender or you're a fucking attacker.
Yeah.
But again, that's how we were brought up, because they were the laws of the game that we had.
Yeah.
That's only a new addition to the laws of the game in recent years. It hasn't been there forever.
Yeah.
But can we look at the end of the day, the referee's correct in following and adjudicating the laws of the game in respect to that incident. Can we be salty about it? Should we be pissed off about it?
No.
Fuck yes.
No.
Fuck yes.
No. I don't think so.
No, we can.
No.
We can.
Why? Why? No, and this is the reason. My reason why is because we had so many chances yesterday before that we should have buried.
No, I'm talking about just the particular incident, not
yeah,
the entire game as a whole.
Yeah, look, if it was Sydney FC, it would have been a penalty.
Can we be pissed? Can we be pissed about it? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Would every other club supporters be pissed about it? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Anyway,
was the referee wrong? No.
No, 100%. No. Right, so we'll move on from it. It is what it is. Who gives a shit? We should have scored.
Yeah, exactly.
There's plenty of opportunities in there that friggin' whatever. At the end of the day, let's go back and friggin' realise that friggin' MacArthur hit the friggin' woodwork, which should have been a goal.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't have friggin' put the thing to bed anyway. Done did.
Yeah.
Right?
They ran all over us except the last 20 minutes of the second half.
Yule got it. Yule got the friggin' man of the match. That's crap. Yeah, it's classic.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. Okay. Good on him. Look.
Is that because he was the goal scorer and that's the only reason why they picked him?
Look. And this is the reason why I wanted to know. Right? Because so many people, obviously, look, we've got Lucas fans in here. Lucas was the best sub, la-di-da. Who cares about the sub? You know what I mean? Like, he was good when he came on, yes, 100%. Looked brilliant. Didn't do much wrong other than friggin' crossing the ball in. His crossing ability is fucking woeful.
Yeah.
No offense to him. Good bloke. But his crossing, he needs to go work on that shit. You voted Lucas, laugh out loud. Yeah. Look, the Yule scenario, and this is exactly what I freaking was talking to.
I think I know where you're going with this. I think I know where you're going with this.
Where?
No, continue.
Is because we got talking about it and stuff like that, and I said to friggin' my mate at work, I said, I bet you $100, because I told him about the friggin' we've got a friggin' man of the match thing or whatever it is, la-di-da, like he's a City supporter, so they got the same thing. Who they vote for man of the match or whatever in their fan group. I said, I bet you $100 that Yule gets the goal, gets the man of the match this week. And he said, he played all right though? And I said, he played well. He scored a goal. Absolutely.
And that's why he got it.
But I bet you any money he gets our player of the match.
Because he's the only one that scored a goal. And that's all the plastic fans care about. Because they don't actually watch the game.
Well, this is where I'm going with. Obviously, so he's received it. You'll got it. Congratulations to him. He didn't play bad. Not saying he played bad.
He played well. No, he played well.
Played well, right? So Aiden's put in here Thurgate second, and then Nazarene third. Right? Nazarene was not the man of the match. First two games, yes. Did Nazarene play very well? Yeah. He looks great. And the biggest thing that annoys me about that is the fact that he's on loan and he will go back to City next year. Yeah. And he will start every week. And then the year after that, he'll piss off to Europe somewhere for big money. He's going to be a superstar. He looks absolutely great. My biggest thing is just the fact that friggin' fans of the club are just looking for a positive. And I feel a lot of the voting is on a positive. You're scored, so he gets man of the match. Nazarine's got the last two, and I feel that Nazarine got the last two because he looked good. He stood out. Right? Ben and I can sit here and go back and forth or whatever it is and play the whole friggin' Ugarkovic card or whatever it is. Ugarkovic nowhere near deserved the friggin' man of the match last night. He played shit.
Oh, no.
He played woeful.
Disgusting.
He touched the ball about friggin' 12 times, I reckon. He played like trash. Right? But it's the little things that people aren't looking at. Aiden, obviously some people did, because Thurgate for me was man of the match. He was brilliant. He was where he needed to be. He was where he should have been. He was demanding the ball. My second vote would have been for Bugard, because he was, again, solid. Mm-hmm. And none of those two goals were his fault. None of them. Why do we keep playing forward at wingback, Mackie?
Okay, the best way to describe this, Josh, would be Valentino Yule got the Jets man of the match in the same way that defenders don't win the Ballon d'Or.
Right. Put it this way.
Would that be a correct statement?
Yeah. Shit. Yeah. Like, I guarantee you next Wednesday, this Wednesday, if you haven't liked the Facebook page, go and like the Facebook page. Friggin' within 30 seconds after the friggin' full-time whistle is blown, I will put the winner of the man of the match in there. May not be who I think's man of the match, but I guarantee you, I come mightily close. And Aiden, I've got Aiden obviously to tell me because he's told me the top three. It'll either be one or two. It'll be top two every time, guaranteed.
Maybe we can get Aiden to keep a running tally of this throughout the season.
Yeah.
And see how many we get right.
Yeah.
Can we leave that on your shoulders, Aiden?
Can we leave that? I'll message you.
Give us the weekly update.
Yeah, I'll put you. Oh, pardon me.
We'll even make a section in the podcast for it.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll make it private. Yeah,
Every
Jets
week.
should try and buy Mazarine onto a Jets deal. Won't happen.
No, won't happen.
Look, more so now that we've got backing, that helps. That's more likely than what it was a week ago. I just can't see it. City will be literally sitting back right now going, whoo, he's looking good. Oh, yeah. You know, they're high-fiving each other, the freaking backroom staff are freaking...
Yeah, they signed a play today too.
Rami won 3 in a row on Instagram account page. Yeah, right. I hope Simon Hill is the ground announcer on Wednesday night, as I look forward to hearing his sexy voice.
He does have
He's got a great voice. He's got a great voice.
He does have the best voice.
Honestly, guys, he's just a comedian. Like, honestly, he loves the comedy. Like, go check out the stuff. If you haven't seen it, go check out the podcast. Is brilliant. Like, in my opinion, 3 blokes who know their shit. And that's saying a lot for freaking Spider, because he's a bit of...
Well, you've got what? You've got a commentator and a journalist. Commentator/journalist.
Yep.
You've got Spider, who works backroom as a coach.
In Greece.
As a goalkeeping coach in Greece. No. And then you've got Craig Moore, who I'm pretty sure is still the technical director at Brisbane.
No. He's an agent.
I thought he was a technical director.
Player agent who hasn't left his home in England for fucking 6 weeks.
I could have swore he was doing tech work, like boardroom work.
He might be. I don't think he has left the Brisbane Roar. I still feel he has an attachment, but he's not part of it. He's not part of the backroom staff. He's not part of the club.
I thought he was.
No. He's a
Ben and Josh, thoughts on the ref's performance yesterday? Forgetting about the handball.
Brent.
It was fair.
Brent. There's not, in my opinion, not enough to sit there and go, he had a shit gig.
No. It's probably been one of the better referee performances I've seen so far this season.
Yeah. No dramas with it.
To be fair, we came in crunching hard, and so did MacArthur.
Did he? He let a lot go. Probably a lot more than probably what should have been let go. But
we can't buy players.
But he was fair.
No transfer system.
Yeah, Matty. Yeah, Ben's with you on that one as well. It's
No, that's just a thought.
It makes a lot of he's on the same page. It makes a lot of sense. It's pretty. You would be surprised if it wasn't them.
Agreed, Matty. Milligan is a grub.
Yeah,
I just thought it was funny. I just thought it was hilarious when Booth gave it to him.
I just find it fun. Yeah, I just love the fact that they bought cowbells into the friggin' bloody stadium. I was wrapped.
They get it with their membership pack.
I was wrapped. I want one.
They get it with their membership pack.
That's fantastic. I love it. The whole stadium.
Can't bring a Vuvuzela then.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. What if they're allowed to have a freaking bell? Why can't we have a freaking megaphone and shit? Bullshit. Makes the same noise, if not worse. Fuck.
Well, it's just as much when you throw it at someone too.
Just a reminder, we hate Coast Scum. One of these
We
ones.
do.
We hate
We do.
Coast Scum.
There it is.
See that? We've got it on a button.
I think the fourth.
We've both got it on a button.
How many people are going to? How many people are going to Wellington, Wollongong, Phoenix, Wolves away on Sunday? Oh man.
Wellington, Wollongong, Phoenix. Hang on. What about their women's side? The Wellington, Wollongong, Central Coast, Phoenix, Wolves, Mariners.
Yeah.
W League side.
We can't buy players. No transfer system. What do you mean? What do you mean? Whoa, Sir James. What do you mean? No transfer system.
We have a system.
What do you mean? What do you mean? They got a young bloke coming in from frickin' wherever the hell he's playing. Denmark,
Croatia,
or wherever.
Croatia.
What do you mean we got no transfer system? We'll buy players in the window or whenever we can buy players. There'll be players
At
coming
the same
in.
point as well. Did you see City's new signing today?
I did see.
Portuguese bloke from Sofia.
Woo! It's been in the country for about a week. Yeah.
You know what the scary part about that transfer is?
What?
Not the fact of who it is.
Hmm.
It's a 3-year deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's long time.
Yeah.
That's a player that can cause problems for a long time.
Yeah. Good job. Good job, Manchester City. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job. What do you got here?
I'm thinking about a can't buy Rami from City next year. Why not?
Can't buy Remy from City next year.
Why?
Well, there's nothing stopping us going in for him. There's nothing stopping us going in for
Yeah,
him.
Bulgarian, Sofia.
Yeah.
I think it was CSKA Sofia.
Correct. There's nothing stopping us from going in, obviously, and asking if we can have him or whatever, or getting a price. It's just we won't be able to afford him.
Yeah, here's the thing. There's nothing that's prohibiting us from inquiring to City about his services.
I thought we were going to get through a whole podcast without mentioning that name. Anyway. Good on you,
Damn
Matt.
it, Matty!
Good on you, Matt.
No, Mary.
No, we don't want to be doing that. Look.
Don't sound like the plastic.
I've spoken to plenty of people in regards to the Gary Van Egmont scenario. I've spoken to players.
So teams aren't allowed to buy players from other A-League teams, but they're allowed to get them on loan to get a good, and then the other team gets good money from the players when developed. I think you'll find that the loan system is completely different as well, and there are clauses on that to the point where you're only allowed to loan under 23s.
Yeah.
Throughout the A-League. From A-League to A-League club, you're only allowed to loan under 23s.
Correct. You're only allowed to loan them for free. So we got Nazarene for free.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing, right?
City is still paying for his development. We're just giving him the tools.
Fuck. What's his name?
Mood in a jar.
No, freaking.
He's the other one on loan at Macarthur.
Yeah, no.
John Rose, same.
What's his name? The Jet. He's now at Brisbane on loan. Fuckface. Champness. Right? Champness, on the other hand, is over 23, and we are getting money for his ass. Completely different. And there will be a buy-on clause next year. Laurie and that would have put that in there. Yeah, you can have him at the end of the year. His contract's finished with us, so we don't give a shit. See ya. Yeah.
Okay, I was sort of right. He was the football director at Brisbane for a brief time.
He was. No, he was. He was there for years. He's been part of the club for... Fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Since he finished playing with them.
What about the players from Johor, Malaysia?
Yeah, that's the bloke I'm talking about, the one that won from Gary. That's the Gary Van Egmont friggin' special. The under-20s friggin' Australian who's playing there. He's signed. He'll sign.
No, he's not from Malaysia.
Yeah.
He's from Croatia.
No, I think it's Malaysia. I think you'll find it's Malaysia.
No, Malaysian is the other two blokes.
Oh, sorry, you are right. Yeah. They're the ones that actually play with friggin'
Taylor.
No, Pepper. They actually play.
That's right, Pepper.
They literally, one of them, not both of them, one of them,
Yeah.
literally plays with Pepper in his side. And that's happening. That's a done deal.
Yeah, they're done deals.
Sources from Pepper and Instagram stating in his thingo, I can't believe one of my teammates over here is going to my boyhood club. There you go.
Well, why didn't he come back to his boyhood club then?
No, he won't freaking buy him. Right, oh fuck, we've gone.
You said we had to buy him.
We won't buy him. He's not going to come from the line.
He's still banned from playing against us. Yes.
Oh shit, there's been so much going on. What have we got here? Football director, full membership. I'll keep the W membership. Catherine will get. Catherine will get sold for a lot. We'll get nothing for developing him. Nazarene?
Oh, I'm assuming he's going Nazarene.
Nazarene will get sold. Nazarene.
Okay, not my full membership. I'll keep my W League membership.
Nazarene. Why would we get anything for him? Why would we? You know what I mean? Like,
we're just giving him playing time.
We're giving him playing time. At the end of the day, he didn't have to come here.
City is still paying for his development.
We pay nothing for him.
Yeah, that's right. City is still paying for his development.
Not even paying for his accommodation. Like,
yeah, City paid for all that.
No, there'd be nothing.
We don't pay a cent.
It'd be nothing. It'd be shacked up somewhere.
Yeah, he'd be living with one of the boys.
That's right. What I mean is that Melbourne City will sell him for heaps, and we'll get nothing for development. But we're not.
But we're not developing.
We're not developing. That's the problem.
We're not financially outlaying his development.
Correct. I have no question that he will be receiving phone call and email every day from the City group, from trainers and physios and frickin' doctors and nutritionists and
Paddy.
Christ knows what.
And Paddy.
Every week, well, yeah, probably once a week at least from Paddy, but every week, and obviously his players down there, his teammates down there, every week talking to him and friggin' seeing where he's at, what he's doing, what are they feeding you, what are they doing, la-di-da. So they will know everything.
Yeah, they want to know the ins and outs of the Ducks arsehole.
So when he comes back to City, they know everything that they have to work on. Everything. You know what I mean? It'll be in the loan contract. This is what he needs to do after training. This is what he needs to be doing at training. Don't do this. Because all they want him to do is go there and play football.
Yep.
But yeah, what do we got? Is Joey still banned? Yeah, I think Gary Van Egmont looks like musician Bruce. That's a good one. That's a good one, buddy. But yeah, look, what else have we got here? Laurie McKenna and Andy Roberts are my favourite Newcastle Breakers players of all time. I want to go Laurie McKenna. He played 4 games. He's not even. He doesn't even deserve to shine boots at the Newcastle Breakers. No offense, love the man to bits, but fuck me dead. 4 games. Calm down. Andy Roberts, freaking longest serving player. Come on. He carried the whole squad. Some of the players in that squad back then wouldn't have a freaking spot if it wasn't for shining his shoes.
All Jets fans can put up $5 to pay to keep Nazarene.
I'll tell you something. Something today which actually I seen thanks to Andrew Wallace and the guys at Western United.
The All Out West podcast, cheeky plug.
Absolutely. Freaking go check them out. All Out West podcast. Be sure to go check those guys out. Great blokes, do a great job down here in Melbourne.
Fucking champions.
In the West. But there was a gentleman today. It came out. He has individually, out of his own pocket. This is something to think about, guys. You bag the club and everything else and ship it. You'll go and watch them and stuff like that. This gentleman poured his own money out of his own pocket to sponsor the club. He's now one of 7 sponsors, I think it is, off the top of my head, at the club. $5,000 out of his own pocket that he saved up for through last season, I believe, and this one started. And he gave it to the club just to have a friggin' snippet of his name or whatever it is. No business. Just his name.
Weren't we going to do that?
Yeah, well, yeah, not for the club, but like an individual player or something. I'm going to speak to Tony about it.
Yeah.
But he's purchased it out of his own pocket. $5,000. So, you know what I mean? Like, shit like that, it's just amazing. You know, all the negativity and stuff like that of, you know, all this sort of shit. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel that some people who bag the shit out of the club and that, if you want to sit there and bag the shit out of the club, you got to earn the right to bag the shit out of the club. Go put your money into it. Mm-hmm. If you forked money over, not a membership, if you forked money to the club, here's $3,000 or whatever it is out of my own money to put towards friggin' a youth developed player or some shit, sponsor a youth player or something like that, then
you know who I give full rights to be able to complain?
Who?
Joel Goodson.
Well, yeah, of course. He's sponsored the club.
For many years.
Yeah. Touch your mobile gaming. See you, mate. Take it easy, buddy. Thanks for jumping in, as always. Muchly appreciated. Cosmina was a sexy Lucas coach. Oh, fuck.
No. Cosmina's sexy when he got knocked off his chair in the semi.
Andy Harper had a great career at Newcastle Breakers. That he did, Matty. Better than his frigging commentary career.
I was about to say, it's too bad he's shit at commentary.
Noopy! What do we got? If we are good, they will. If we're not, they won't. Oh, no, that's not about. Sorry, Luke. Andy Roberts was in some interesting attire at the Planet Fitness Gym today. Oh, Noopy! Surely you got a photo.
Please tell us you got a photo that we can screw over the general.
Oh, come on. Surely you took a photo of that. Come on.
Yeah, Andy's always in a suit. The Bunnings chair.
If we were good, they will.
At the A-League and W League, but deluxe model. Oh, yes!
What?
You know what? That semi-final where he got knocked off that chair, that was my first ever A-League game.
Oh, wow. But the deluxe model. Hell yeah.
And I was a neutral.
Oh, okay, gotcha. If we were good, they would sponsor them. If we weren't, they won't. Shit, fathoms me. Bloody hell.
No.
You're a United fan. Look,
you do it because you want to.
Look, you're a United fan. What have they done in the last 5 years? Nothing. Shit. I mean, lucky to make Europa League, but you still support them, don't you? It's just the biggest thing. It fucking frustrates me. Doesn't matter how shit they go now. Shit. You know, I can sit here and rave on, I'm a Liverpool fan, la-di-da. But you're probably just a Liverpool fan because of, you know, for the last 20 years or whatever it is. I've supported them since I frigging was old enough to frigging know who they were and what they were about and where they played, whatever. Had nothing to do with Harry Kewell, had nothing to do with Craig Johnson or anything like that. I've been supporting them since day one, and I finally got to witness them win a premiership, and it felt good. But do I expect them to win one this year, or next year, or the year after? No. I don't expect.
United fans do.
Yes. Same as City fans and stuff like that, because their pedestal's up here.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest problem. How good's Barcelona going right now? How shit must you be being a Barcelona fan right about now? Not only could they not friggin' beat a friggin' average-rated friggin' Atletico, I think it was Atletico Bilbao side, but friggin' Leo Messi, this is how much of a gutful he's had. He got a red card. First red card in his Barcelona career. If that doesn't tell you that he's had a fucking gutful, I don't know what does.
That's a sign. That's a sign of a man who wants out,
mate. That's of a bloke who never gets red carded or anything like that. Like, holy shit! And the referee, I guarantee you, he's a protected species in the game.
For sure,
right? And you can't tell me there's no way, even if him going, no, I'll just give him a yellow. Mate, he hit him that fucking hard.
Yeah.
Like, the bloke's just going, yeah, I can't save him here, that's fucked. You're gone, champ. So, it is...
Bruce probably jumping around, getting all giddy inside, going, "Oh, I'm going to be the first
Go
referee."
the Rangers.
No message!
Go the Rangers. Mate, I'm all for the Rangers this year, because at the end of the day, mate, fucking Stevie G making friggin' Celtic look like a bunch of fucking amateurs.
Yeah, I've always been a Gers. Again, that's another one.
Bunch of friggin' amateurs.
Going back to your United-Liverpool debate.
Yeah.
Luke, try supporting a bang average side. You want disappointment? Be a Birmingham fucking City supporter.
Yeah.
It doesn't hit you once. It hits you every fucking 3 days.
You know,
even when you're in the Premier League, it hits you every fucking 3 days.
You know what makes a really good club? When they don't have to sit there and friggin' carry on that their biggest achievement was beating Arsenal.
No,
a big club can sit there and bang on about beating friggin' your Barcelonas, your Real Madrids, your Manchester Uniteds and stuff like that.
No,
when you're a mediocre friggin' side, and their claim to fame is beating Arsenal, trust me, you know they're spot on and they love their club. When still fucking nearly 20 years ago,
no,
they're still going on about
20 years ago.
What was it? 2014? No.
2009.
No, yeah, about 9, 10, yeah. Right, well, 10 years, right. Over a decade ago, they're still friggin' banging on about the biggest achievement friggin'.
It is!
But that's
and
the thing.
It probably will be their biggest achievement until the day I friggin' die.
But that's the thing. You know what I mean? Like, and
we don't forget it.
And they've still got fans, and that's it. They won't let...
We won't forget it, and we won't let you forget it.
But that's the thing. They won't. That's it. They won't let anyone else forget it. That's the biggest thing.
Yep.
That's the biggest thing. You know? So, friggin' it's one of those things. That's, yeah. Stevie G is a legendary footballer. Absolutely is.
Luke.
Yeah. Mary, I'm not going to go into... I should have a segment called Fans Hated on the Week.
No, it's not even that. It's not even that. It's not even that. It's not that we
can have a teams hated every week, and we wouldn't be moving past United.
We do that. And it was not far after the hang on, when was Invincibles? 03, 04?
Yep.
So 5 years after.
To be fair, Luke. To be fair, in that regards. To be fair, they deserve to be sitting there still going on about it. Why? Because it's never been done again. Different story.
Oh, I know what you're going on about now.
The Invincible. Like, until there's...
Oh, no, I thought you were referring to us.
No.
Being the only team to win a major trophy in England and get relegated in the same season.
Yeah, well, that's special too, but...
Playing Europa League for the fucking championship.
That's impressive. Until that happens...
Yeah.
No, I was going to say until that happens again. That's happened before.
Yeah.
But no, look, that's a completely different scenario. That one. Because no one else... There's no one else in the Premier League who's got a gold trophy. And until someone comes along with a gold trophy, then maybe
Arsenal fans do not let us forget it.
No, 100%. 100%.
And they call themselves a big club.
And I hate Arsenal as well, but friggin' shit at the end of the day, like...
It's an achievement.
If they want to go on about friggin' being the Invincibles and shit like that, they've got every right to be, because friggin' it hasn't been done before. You know what I mean? No one gives a shit about... And that's it, you know, United or whatever it is. You know, friggin' they won a trophy, they won another trophy, but they weren't special.
No. What was special about United, and as much as I hate the Manx, what's special about United is the class of 92.
Oh, yeah.
You can't deny them that.
No, 100%.
The class of 92 was a freak show.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
Can't deny them that.
And you won't forget that, because it was the first year of the Premier League and shit like that. And
right.
That's significant.
That's right. In the same way that Arsenal's invincible season was, unique. In the same way, to me, as a Birmingham City fan, never letting people forget about that Carling Cup win is unique. Because let's be honest, us winning a major trophy in England in my lifetime, I'm never going to see it.
So did we, Aiden.
I'll never see it again.
Yeah, no.
And here's the thing about supporting a club, Luke. This is when you know you got passion for your club. When you support your club and you don't even know who fucking owns it. To this day, we still do not know who owns it.
Someone does.
Nobody knows who owns it.
Aiden, just letting you know, mate, they got yes, Manchester United did get a treble, but they're not the only team who's done so. We've got a treble. Granted, we didn't win the FA Cup or the Carling Cup or the Coca-Cola Cup or the friggin' the FFA Coca-Cola Mickey Mouse Cup or whatever the fuck it was.
Oh, the Johnson's Paint Trophy.
Johnson's Patriot, yeah, that one.
Johnson's Paint Trophy.
We didn't get that one, but we won the friggin' league, we won the Champions League, and we won the fucking club championship. So
yeah, Club World Cup.
So I would take a Club World Cup over a fucking FA Cup when you're friggin' 90% of the squads.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah. I would too. I'd consider that a higher achievement than a domestic treble.
Best clubs in the world are playing that fucking league. Don't give me shit that, you've got to earn your right. You got to earn your right to go to that friggin' Club World Cup. You earn shit. Yeah. You earn shit to friggin' play in the FA Cup. That's anyway.
Most Premier League teams are fucking gifted an easy berth.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Friggin' was it City this week? City over in the FA Cup.
Shut up.
What?
Oh no, we were last week. No, that's fine. Continue.
No. Yeah, no, they played you guys. Oh, yeah, at least that was decent. Like you know, what I mean? Yeah, but okay, friggin' they've gone. They've gone like two leagues below friggin' Birmingham. How can you friggin' give them a friggin' team like Birmingham and then go, well, that was easy. Let's give you friggin' another one, 2 friggin' leagues lower. Like shit.
Yeah. Okay, Luke. This is what I say about it, Luke. It's more special to them because it took 30 years.
Yeah. Look, as I said, we can sit here and bang on about the United. I can bang on about the United scenario just because the fact that...
Matty Taylor's P&E.
Yeah, fucking A, Preston North End. Classic.
Yeah,
Cheltenham. Yeah, they got Cheltenham.
I'm pretty sure the Preston North End were the first Invincibles. We're talking like 1800s.
You'd be close, actually, yeah.
We're talking 1800s.
Oh, and there would have been teams back then who probably have done it as well. Yeah, absolutely.
Shit, yeah. I think they were the original Invincibles.
Current, in this time, Premier League, it will be...
So, 92 onwards.
You will be struggling to beat that. I thought Liverpool were going to go close, but they didn't. But it'll be hard to beat. Because it's just the teams are too good. Yeah, they're not as shit as what they used to be.
In what?
In the Premier League. To do that invincible run. Like, it's not as...
No. It's completely different when Arsenal did it.
It's not your top 4 anymore. That's the biggest thing. It's not your top 4. That's the biggest thing. You know?
Yeah, it's
a top 10. Anyone in the top 10.
I'd go more than that. It's 12 and the rest.
Yeah, probably. You're probably
it's
right.
12 and the rest.
Yeah. I'm going to Hunter Valley, Hope Estate, Cabernet Merlot. Absolutely, Matty. Get into it.
Oh, Josh is going to disagree with you on that one, Matty.
Go the Edgeworth Eagles. They are the best local club. Yeah,
Josh
see,
is a
I'm not going to go down that road with you, Matty. Again, we talk about the Premier League and before the Premier League and shit like that in its current state.
Oh, now he's gonna think for the Owls.
Sheffield Wednesday. Bloody hell, we're Preston. Go Look, you guys have scored 1 goal in 62 shots.
Oh?
Look where we're sitting, though.
Did the goal matter in that game?
Yep.
Sure. Obviously it did.
Absolutely it did. That saved their ass. Yeah, look. This is what I love. I love the banner.
Can I finish this conversation with something?
Yeah.
Cool.
Funny. Ben Homer is a great upcoming football commentator. Yes, and a Newcastle lad. Good on him. Look, I could go on about the Bandit scenario with you for fucking God knows how long. At the end of the day, I will leave you with this and this one little piece of advice. Enjoy the top spot while you can, because I guarantee you It's a fucking harder fall from the top down than what it is trying to climb the fucking tree. Enjoy that. That's all I will say on the matter. If you stay there till the end of the season, you will have deserved it. Which is fucking amazing, considering the squad you have and the friggin' amount of fucking negativity and friggin' shit that is within the club. If Ollie at the wheel can somehow pull a miracle out of his ass when he was out of a job, he's been out of the job at United 5 times, I reckon, in the last 2 years. He's still there. Good on him. But I guarantee you, I think the pressure at the end of the day will be too much for you. And honestly, as a Liverpool fan, as much as I would love to say we will go back to back, the team you have to watch out for this year is Mourinho and his fucking merry men. Because they are playing shit football at the moment, but if there is a coach that can turn that shit around from playing shit football on Monday to going on a fucking unbeaten run to win the league on Tuesday, it's him. Trust me. He will fuck off anyone he needs to in this transfer window and bring in whoever he wants because his name carries and they can go on to win the league. They are the team I'd be watching. I wouldn't be worried about City. I wouldn't be worried about United or us per se. Tottenham for me scare the shit out of me. Because at the end of the day, you want to talk about 30 years of waiting? How many years have Tottenham waited?
I look at things like this when it comes to your Liverpool Manx debate.
Not crumble.
Right? Here we go. This is what I'm going to say on the matter. Liverpool consistently,
Yeah.
top, 6?
Consistently.
Over the past 10 years?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah? 10, over the last 10, 15
We'll
years?
go 10 years, yeah.
Consistently top 6, yeah?
10 years,
How
yeah.
many managers you had?
10 years? 4?
Probably more.
That's off the top of my head. No.
Dalglish, Rodgers, Klopp.
10 years ago, Dalglish.
Hodgson.
Yeah, that'd be about it in 10 years.
Right?
Yeah, but anyway,
All
keep
right.
going. That's off the top of my head. Yeah.
Guess what? You consistently hit that pinnacle.
Yeah.
United can only do it with one man. They crumble.
Yeah.
They could only do it with Sir Alex.
Oh.
Everyone else that's come in afterward is flop.
Yeah. Yeah, look.
They can't achieve the heights. They can't hit the bar that Sir Alex Ferguson has set.
Yeah.
And they're just all being lobbed.
Yeah.
And that just shows that it's not only the fans that demand that consistent the consistent right that the league is theirs. Right. Fuck off, Luke. Fuck off, Luke. I'm giving you the fact. I told you, I'm the non-partial party. I don't support either side.
Oh, shit, that's funny.
I'm looking purely at the facts.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, friggin' it is what it is. That's why football is exciting, because shit can turn very quickly. Barcelona at the moment, a prime example of that. It's fantastic to watch them play shit football.
All right, look, you say that, but our derby against Villa is still bigger than against yours and the Manx. Yours and Liverpool's.
Oh, easy. Don't bring us into this shit. They don't turn up to our friggin'... Don't bring us into this.
They have high standards
Jesus.
Because they have won consistently and everybody expects that. When you take away your prized asset, you have to be realistic and lower those expectations.
Yeah.
Because nobody will be as good as Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yeah, correct.
Nobody.
Correct.
No one man, no 10 men could achieve that same feat.
Yeah.
Yet the United board, the United owners, and the United fans expect it.
Yeah.
And you know what? You'll go through 10, 15 years of fucking heartache because you will never get it. You will never get that. You will never have that again.
I think it was a couple of years ago they done a friggin' poll, and it was a who's who of on this, who was writing this list.
No, Matty. Not the Welsh.
It was a who's who of who was writing this list of who is the most successful club and who is the most sought after and stuff like that. A lot of people tipped United. A lot of people, but they finished 5th behind your Barcelonas, your Real Madrids, your PSG, not your PSGs, your Bayern Munichs, etc. I can't remember who the other one was in there. Why? Because every one of those other clubs have won multiple titles with multiple managers. United have won nothing. Actually, I think they might have won a Carling Cup or a FA Cup or something.
They've won a Mickey Mouse Cup.
But they're nothing. They're shit trophies. No one gives a shit.
Even we've got one of those.
Yeah, shit, absolutely. Friggin' defunct clubs have got one of them. Friggin'...
Technically, yes.
Yes. Yes, they have. Anyway.
Yeah, the fucking, not the Looney Tunes.
Right, babe, I'm just about finished anyway.
Crazy Gang.
Yeah.
Crazy Gang got one.
Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna wrap it up there. Love to stir.
I would love to see him commentate a game of football.
Yeah. Love to stir.
Fucking Vinny Jones.
Go to Toronto or Worcester. Fucking hell. You're pushing all the wrong buttons now. Anyway. Trucking. Up the Warriors.
We're going that far down. Go on the burgers.
Anyway, we're going to leave it there. We just say goodnight to Amelia. Yes, Mary, I'm going to finish up so I can go say goodnight to my daughter. Relax, yeah?
Yes, Tara is gorgeous.
And Tara is mint.
You missed that one.
Yeah, Tara is Mickey Mouse. She should be the trophy holder of the Mickey Mouse Cup.
Even after pregnancy.
That's it. Anyway, guys, we're going to leave it there. We thank everyone for jumping on who has been a part of the stream tonight. We thank Simon Hill very, very muchly for jumping on, talking a bit of football, of what needs to improve, and etc. It is muchly appreciated. Next week, we will possibly, hopefully, have somebody on. If we don't, it'll be just us, and we'll talk a bit of shit, and we'll talk a bit of football, and we might find some topics to actually talk about, if obviously we don't have anyone on. Other than that, guys, we hope you enjoyed it. We hope you enjoy the game on Wednesday night. Whoever's going. My wife's in Newcastle. She's probably going to go with Chris, etc. So, to you. Yeah. Enjoy everyone else. Come on the Jets. Hopefully a freaking win. For Christ's sake, we need one. And,
yes, please.
Yeah, it's getting pretty dismal. I don't think I'm doing much on Wednesday night. Mate, freaking might come over and watch it. Or vice versa. I've got no one here, so...
I had the studio to myself.
Peace and quiet. Anyway, we're going to leave it there, guys. Be sure to go check us out on all the social platforms. YouTube, friggin' Facebook, Twitter.
Yes, Twitch.
Twitter, yeah. Twitch. Well, Twitch was the one I was going for. Twitter, Twitch. Obviously, we've got it on Apple Play as well. Spotify. Where else are we friggin' broadcasting?
Google shit.
Google are done. We're done. If they finally come back, we'll go, no, we're good, thanks.
Yeah, no, good, thanks. No, we'll just wait. No, we'll just make them wait 6 months for our reply.
Yeah, exactly right. Anyway, guys, we're going to leave it there. Enjoy. We'll speak to you guys real soon. I'm tipping friggin' a Nazarene man of the match on Wednesday. That's...
At least we're not last in the W League.
Yeah. No, it's not who I'm tipping for man of the match. You'll get my man of the match no later than 30 seconds after the whistle. Other than that, guys, we'll catch you guys later. As always, as we finish up with that.
Hate Coast Scum.
Absolutely, we do. We hate Coast Scum. Thanks to everyone. Be sure to go subscribe and like the Facebook page and share the hell out of this podcast with Simon Hill. Take it easy, guys. We'll catch you guys next time. Ciao. See ya.
Bye.